Hello everyone, this is Kevin Mange, and this is Kev's TV series. Well, apparently, Jonah isn't here. Jonah Perla. But I'm pretty sure he would have liked knowing what are my favorite Pokemon types are. That's why I wanted to do the Pokemon types when Jonah would have been around. But apparently he's not. So I just want to give a shout out to him for him being around. I guess he has other things to do in Plymouth, Massachusetts, so if he catches this video someday, I really would have liked it if he was still around so that he would know what are my favorite Pokemon types. That's why I'm upset. Because I'm pretty sure he would have liked it if he would have known what are my favorite Pokemon types. So, I guess I'm going to make this video for him and for other people too, to know what is my favorite type above all and my hidden type. And what I mean by that is, I'm shouting out to the Hidden Power Podcast, another YouTube channel, and someday in the future I would like to do a podcast with them. I would like to do a podcast with them. But for right now, I'm pretty sure that I would like for them to know my favorite type and then my hidden power type. But before I get there, it's time for you to all know of what I get about, well, the Pokemon types. So, I get it. A bunch of other types have their own weaknesses, but same goes for all my other favorite types. It doesn't mean that they're strong in a way, they just have their own weaknesses. And apparently we're going to get a 19th type. Tera type. So basically, of how we can describe the Tera types is, Tera type is a mixture of all other Pokemon types combined. So usually when we understand the move Tera Blast, Tera Blast is normally the move that would give you the upper hand in the type that would be super effective on that other type, but apparently not. After that, it's just going to go to neutral effective. But I say that's in the running for right now. So apparently, it's not weak nor strong. But what I get in the basis of here is I know what Pokemon weaknesses are. Not like, I'm not saying I'm in over my head because, well, these Pokemon types aren't the good matchup against these other Pokemon types. They do have the super effectiveness, but they are super effective too. Electric types are definitely super effective against water. and flying, but apparently not to rock types or ground types. Those two are super effective against electric types, but to rock and ground types. They're weak to water. They're weak to grass. It's not like I don't know their weaknesses. Of course I know their weaknesses. But if I somehow put these types against other Pokemon types, I know for a fact that I can get Pokemon that can be super effective on the other types of Pokemon that they will be super effective to, like when I mentioned Bulbasaur in my Kanto talk right back there, and how to take on the fire type gym. I know there's a Rhydon there. However, I know they're a fire type, so when I mean that Bulbasaur can't help me, I'm going to need to find a water type so that I can take down fire type Pokemon. But if the matchup isn't great after all, I'm just gonna be like, oh, Ash Ketchum on what is left if my water types don't work anymore. So, even if water types can't help me, it doesn't mean I have a Bulbasaur ready in the bay. So that means I do know what I'm doing. I'm not in over my head. I just understand these types. Is the case. That's why I want to take on these gyms and what I'm talking about. So, since electric types are super effective on water types and flying types, what also is super effective against flying types? Ground and rock types. Duh. So it is possible to use ground type Pokemon against flying types, and same thing with rock types. But about flying types, they're super effective against fighting types. But the fighting types, so they're super effective on rock types, ice types. Well, I know for a fact that other types do have their weaknesses, yes, but I can't remember all of them. I just know for a fact that there are other types I do like, so if you understand what I'm talking about, you understand what I'm talking about. But to water types, I know for a fact, yes, they're super effective against steel types and fire types, but they're also but they're also weak to grass types. Grass, they're weak to fire. They're weak to bug types. They're super effective against dark types, but Their weakness is also the same thing with grass types, also weak to fire types too. And flying types as well. But the dark types, they're super effective against psychic types and ghost types. They're perfect. To psychic types, they're definitely weak to bug and ghost types. And apparently, they're also super effective against each other anyway, so psychic types are super effective on ghost types. Ghost types are super effective to psychic types. Okay then. But I guess that's how you can beat the Pokemon. But I never discussed fairy types. Fairy types are definitely brand new, so they're super effective against dragon, that I get. But they're also weak to poison types and steel types. But the poison, apparently they're super effective to grass types. But their weakness is ground types. All these Pokemon, they're weak in a way, but that doesn't escape for the fact that I like these other Pokemon types that I know and understand. So apparently there's a combination of other Pokemon that combines with other Pokemon types. So, now since you understand what I'm talking about, and what Pokemon are weak to that I get, I'm not dumb. I'm not stupid. I understand what I'm doing. Even if I would face that Pokemon gym. I'm not dumb, I'm not stupid, I can face the gyms in the said type. So even though it may have a grass type, doesn't mean I can't get water types. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Yes. So that means I'm only using Bulbasaur for Rhydon. But for the fire types, it's water types. Okay. And now to tell you all my favorite Pokemon types, and I really wanted Jonah to know these types. So if he hadn't left, I would have wanted him to know that these are my favorite Pokemon types. Because I believe he would have wanted to know. My favorite types are Ice types, Bug types, Dark types, Steel types, Ghost types, Dragon types, Ghost types, yes, those are all my favorite types in the Pokemon world. So it's time that I rank them. My favorite Pokemon types. Dark, Ghost, Steel, Bug, Ice, I think it said Ghost. Hold on. Dark Dragon, Ghost, Ice, Steel, Bug, well, anywho, you get my process. So time to rank them. Oh, and poison types too. That's what I'm missing. Okay. Yep. That's the number. So, time to rank them. Dark, Dragon, Poison, and Ghost. These 4 are still in. But for Ice, Steel, and Bug types, Ice, Steel, Bug, I would have to say around here would be Ice types. But I'm not saying this because of weakness. I understand their weakness. Anyway, so I'm just telling you if they're in the ultimate light, okay? The ultimate light. So Ice types are in 7th place. Sixth place is Steel Bug. Steel types. That means Bug types take in 5th place. Now, there are 4 left to make 7. Dark, Poison, Ghost. And Dragon. I would have to say around here it's Ghost types in 4th place. Third place is Dragon types. So, now we understand what is in 2nd place. So here's what I'm going to tell you the truth about dark types and poison types above all. Before I get there, I want to let Hidden Power Podcast know something about my hidden power type and my favorite type above all. So this will result in what is definitely in 1st place. Okay? So, above all, I think poison types are the best. So that means dark types are in 2nd place, but I'm not saying that they're weak nor strong. Almost similar to with terror types, because they do have their super effectiveness. All types are like that. They may be super effective or not very effective. But it doesn't change the fact that within these Pokemon, they have what I'm describing as the Terra type. When they do have the super effectiveness, and they do, and they have their weakness. But is that the case for terror types? No. Apparently they're just neutral now. So, this is how terror types work among the types that make up the terror type, the 19th terror type. True, they may have their weakness, but they also have their super effectiveness. They may not have the effective of what they are effective to, but the point is, they make the terror type because of what they are super effective to. That's how I'm describing the terror type. But do I like terror types? Is the case? Well, I'll just say they with the other types anyway, but anywho, we get the picture that terror types aren't super effective to anything, nor not very effective to anything, or having weaknesses. But what makes the Pokemon super effective does make the 19th type. But to further ado, to the Hidden Power podcast about what I'm talking about, yes, I like poison types. And how I can relate with them, well, I think of what I can relate with poison types is that, well, even though they may be gross, you can't stand that smell, but it's almost like farts and burps, farts and burps, farts and burps, farts and burps. But aren't farts and burps gross? Yes. But they also can be funny too when you laugh out loud. If somebody thinks farting is funny, burping is funny. I still find it funny, but they can be gross too. And how convenient. That's how I feel about poison types. So, they're just funny just in general of what makes a poison type a poison type. They're just filled with farts and burps, farts and burps. But of how they're a poison type, well, I'd rather not go there. Totally inappropriate. So I'm not going to mention it, so. That's what makes a poison type. So, now you understand why I like poison types. So my hidden power type happens to be dark types. So, for Jonah to know if he was here, if I were a Pokemon, I would be a poison and dark type Pokemon. That's what I really want him to know had he actually been here. But to Hidden Power Podcast, yes. I'll be a poison and dark type Pokemon. Shout out to the poison and dark type Pokemon. Woo! But I know that they have weaknesses anyway. I know that they're not strong. If there was a strong type that has no weaknesses nor super effectiveness, then that would be the type that would represent with the 19th type. Maybe there could be a 20th type, maybe. That could be like that. Gives you a big thought, right? If there's like a Pokemon that's more stronger than ever, and just have only super effectiveness, and no weaknesses, there's also the same thing with Terra types. So this is just what I had in mind to do for right now, just to let you know on my end about Pokemon types and what is my favorite Pokemon type above all. Thank you to the Hidden Power Podcast for bringing this up, and your answer will be questioned will be in this video. So finally, I talked about Pokemon types that you all were waiting for. Jonah Perlo was waiting for. But I guess he's not here to hear all of that. But to the Hidden Power Podcast, yes. But I can't wait to have a podcast with you. So I would like to do that. Or maybe in the future, I could do a live stream, and I hope Dusty Go-Goat, Lumire's Post, and Soul Silver Art, part of the Hidden Power Podcast, listens to my live stream. I would like to do those in the future. So stay tuned for when I will do live streams and podcasts. But for right now, I have other videos to get to, and after this, I'm going to make my Celestial cover and what I'm inspired to by Pokemon as it's in the song. So that is coming up. And thank you for watching. Later.